I think I worried way too many of you by even suggesting painting this massive dresser that would not sell. I'm going to be fixing a couple of damaged areas that you guys think will help it sell better, as well as making one massive change that so many of you recommended. I'm also going to be giving you guys a huge life update in this video, so I hope you stick around because this is going to be a really big piece, a really big update, and I hope I make amends for all the people I worried. So let's get started. Yay! I am so incredibly excited for this update. So, where we left off, I refinished this massive dresser. It has this gorgeous burlwood veneer on it, and it originally had a dark finish on it, and I made it lighter. But after 4 months of it not selling, I suggested painting it. And you guys begged me not to paint it. I have over 400 comments begging me not to paint it. So I took your guys' suggestions. A lot of you recommend repairing any damage that was done, and a lot of you recommend changing the hardware. One of the major repairs that I have to make is on the base of the dresser. It's got this massive lip out of it. So let's get to that. If you guys are new here, this is one of the products that I use very frequently. It's called Bondo. It comes with 2 different pastes and it helps you fill in any damage, any hardware holes, or any dings that you need to have back and flatten out. So what you're going to do is you're going to mix together the main cream and then the hardening cream. Once you mix it together, it's going to dry within just a couple of minutes. That's part of the reason why I love this product so much, because it's going to help you be able to do a quick fix with a really high quality. I always make sure to apply on the Bondo generously, and then I smooth it out as much as I can so there's not too much overspill, so that when I go to sand it out, it'll be significantly easier to get a flat, nice surface that's sanded off. For efficiency, I also apply my Bondo before I remove my hardware. That way, while it's drying, I'm doing something else productive so that I can save time and really be the most efficient that I can be. This is the old hardware that a lot of you really didn't like. You guys thought it was too small, blended in too much with the finish. So I'm going with a thicker hardware. It was just really hard to find because it's only 3-inch holes, but this is what we're working with. After about 10 minutes, that was fully dried, so I flattened out all the repairs that I made, and then I scuff sanded all of the rest of the top coat using 220 grit so that I could get on a new coat of top coat and have everything nice and smooth like the finished product should be. Guys, when I tell you that I was so sure that I was painting this piece, I even sealed off the top so that I could paint it all a certain color, random color. And now I have to undo all of that prep work. I even did a little sample test on the side with white paint, so I'm going to show you guys how I have to also repair that white paint, but let's go over making touch-ups. I waited far too long to make this investment. It is $75 for these 12 blend all sticks made by Mohawk, and they are phenomenal. The easiest way to apply them on is you are going to first do a base color that you think looks the most similar to the original color underneath the lines. You're going to apply that once, rub it in with your finger to really blend it in, and then between every color that you put on, top coat it and add another layer on. This product is seriously so phenomenal. I picked one of the lighter tones to do for the original base color. I applied that on really thickly and blended it in with my fingers before applying the top coat. I also blended another color in, which you can do with these blend all sticks, which also makes it really, really helpful to get the exact color you're looking for. I'm going to put the tips for applying it again up on the screen so that hopefully that helps you guys. But again, this is an investment that I highly, highly recommend. This product is phenomenal. They also have fill sticks where if you have a massive ding, you can use the same colors that you're looking for. to fill it in, and it'll be like a wood filler as well. That's way easier to touch up and color match after it's done. As always, any products that I use will be linked in the caption, so if you want to check those out, check the caption for any information.
So this part I'm actually a little bummed about. That's where I did my test samples. So there's white paint, as you can see, that's still in all the grooves. So I think after the first top coat, I'm gonna go in with a brown touch-up and just go over the lines. I think that's the best route. Also, to see if you're paying attention, this is Easter egg number 1. So remember this.
Now I'm applying the top coat with my Wagner 5000 sprayer. I really love this sprayer. It gets me a great finish. So between each coat, I'm going to make sure that after it dries, I'm going to be lightly sanding it with 220 again. I prefer to use the nice foam pads. That helps me get any little imperfections off so that I have the smoothest finish by the end. So I'm going to do this for every single coat. It's going to feel repetitive, but it is so worth it. So once that first layer of Blend All sticks is on, I'm going to top coat it, then lightly sand it, and then I'm going to do that a couple more times. I did try the touch-up pen to get rid of those white lines, but that did not go as planned. It was just a little too thick, and it wasn't matching the lines at all. And before you come for me, I did also try a darker stain. However, I applied multiple coats of top coat to this, and so even though I let the stain dry for a couple minutes, it still wouldn't darken the finish. I also tried a decorative glaze. That didn't work either. I was pretty bummed that I couldn't get it to be darker, but we're working with what we've got. So now I go in with the second coat for these top pieces. Some of you were commenting that you thought the top damage could be preventing it from selling, so I figured I might as well touch this up while I'm at it. I applied the second layer to all of the major areas as well, and then I repeated the whole process. It is very tedious, but it's worth it.
Now that I'm on my last coat of top coat, I'm going to be using a fine blue pad from Surf Prep. Just a super fine foam pad works great, but you're just going to rub it on very lightly, and you're going to smooth out any imperfections on the finish.
So go in for the last coat before you're adding your detailed lines. You're going to go in with a super fine sanding pad to get off any minor imperfections, and you're going to lightly sand the entire surface so that you can get the smoothest finish at the end. I'm going to show you the biggest trick that I have for blending the lines in as well. But first, you want to use a wet rag to wipe off any dust to avoid getting it stuck in your top coat. And then you're going to go in with your lines. For my lines, I'm using generic acrylic paint. There's nothing special to it. I personally have a way easier time really color matching the best with acrylic paint. So I'm using acrylic paint. It also comes with a larger variety of color options. And I'm getting the finest brush that I can get. And I am just going in and doing every single line as thin as I can to really try to mimic the wood grain lines. This is going to take practice. So the first couple of times, if you don't love the result, keep trying at it. It's really, really worth it when you get more experience. And I think you'll be amazed with what you can do to really hide old damage. The other great part about the acrylic paint is that if you make an error, it is really easy to wipe it off and kind of undo your mistake before it dries on too quickly. So I always go in, wipe off anything that I don't like before it dries. And then here's actually a big tip that I like to really get those lines to blend in. I'm actually going to go back once it's dry. I'm going to take the Blend All stick again and go over it one more time to really blend in those lines and kind of fade them out so that it matches the rest of the wood grain. And this is a huge, huge tip to get your lines to blend.
These are the lines over here that had paint in them originally. And then there's the base. What do you guys think? Is this doable? Do you like the touch-ups? Is it helpful to see the process? Let me know.
Here's the cutest little audio of my daughter asking me why I'm painting on a dresser.
Say, uh-oh.
You're supposed to be paint on this.
She's so cute. Anyways, for the question of the week, I'm actually going to be asking you, what do you guys think my huge update is? I will give you a hint. It is a big health update. Obviously, you guys will have your guesses, but put it in the comments right now what you think it is before you hear what it actually is, and I'm curious how many of you are going to get it right. I've been teasing it on my Instagram for a couple of days now, and a lot of you are getting it right on the head, but some of you are still really confused. So I feel like this will be an easier one to guess, but let me know what you think. It's so silly, but answering the question of the weeks actually helps these videos perform so much better, so I would really appreciate your answer to the question of the week, or even here's another one that's pretty controversial. I got a lot of advice to raise the price of the piece to find a different audience of buyers. What do you think of that? Do you think that's morally acceptable? Let me know what you think. I'm super curious what your guys' opinions are. I do kind of understand it because the price should reflect the quality, but let me know what you think. Here's the last example that I'm going to show you where I'm using the blend all stick to fade in those lines and really help it blend in. This work is way better than my previous work, touching up massive damage on wood grain, and so I'm really happy with how this one is turning out, and so I hope these tips and processes help you guys too. And finally, with the last top coat, this piece is ready for its hardware, but first, let's get to that massive health update.
I'm so excited. I just finished all of the touch-ups, and I have felt like I've been getting better and better for touching up damage on wood and making it blend in. And this is like so rewarding to see because I am so proud of this. This work is so much better than my last couple of attempts on different pieces. And so I'm really proud of it, and it turned out great, and I cannot wait to show you guys. Now, as for the life update, let me quickly give you guys a little rundown. So I'm sure some of you can guess when somebody says a big life update that it typically is we're pregnant. We're gonna have baby number 2 in September, and I am so excited. My last pregnancy was really rough. I had hyperemesis, and that's where you're sick the entire pregnancy. This one, thankfully, I've not been super sick. I've just been super exhausted, but we just got into the second trimester and the exhaustion is getting so much better. So that's a huge relief. I wish this would only be like a positive, amazing update, and we are very excited, and I'm going to be constantly advertising the PPE that I use. This is the mask that I use. Phenomenal. It does amazing. Now that I have so much more reason to wear PPE, I'm wearing it all the time. Wear yours all the time. If you don't have one, click the link in my caption for the PPE mask. Highly recommend, and it's really affordable, super affordable, so you have no reason to not wear it. I'm calling you all out on it. As for the not so bright update, after my last C-section, we went in to the hospital for heavy breathing and sharp pain when I was breathing, and they actually found 2 blood clots on my lungs. Super scary for us. It was the first time we'd ever had that. So I found out from my doctors that I will be on blood thinners all future pregnancies during the pregnancy. And so a couple weeks ago, I actually started blood thinners, and they were going really well. They had me on the preventative dose, which is 40 milligrams once a day. It was going really well. And then I had sharp pain while breathing. And super scared again. On Thursday, we went to the ER, and we actually spent the entire day in the ER. And that's when we found out that I had more blood clots on my lungs. Even though I was on the preventative dose, the doctors were saying that just for some reason my body will not prevent clots as well as normal bodies. So they now have me on the therapeutic dose. I'm going to be on that dose the entire pregnancy, which is just more self-injections, more dose, more medicine. It's a lot. So there's a lot of information all packed in that. It has been a very heavy week. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I would be more than happy to answer whatever I know, because I don't know as much as the doctors do, but I'm learning so much as I go. With every new appointment, I'm learning something new. I have also been learning that blood clots are fairly common. It's one of the risks of pregnancy. And of course, it's a risk of a high risk surgery, which like a C-section is, it's a very intense surgery. So if you have any questions about all of it, and if you've had any experience with it, please, if you are open to it, message me. I would love to talk about it. But that's kind of the big life update we've had. We would appreciate any prayers that you guys could send our way. We are doing so much better. I'm doing well. Baby is healthy as always. The injections are just hard and they're heavy on my heart. So it's just something we're living with now. And I am having a high-risk specialist appointment that will help me figure out if it's genetic or not, and if this is going to be a lifelong thing that I'm dealing with. But very, very, very thankful for all of you still checking in. Yeah, I appreciate you all still sticking around. I cannot wait to show you the dresser and all of the adjustments I've made. So let's hop right back into that. I'm going to show you the new hardware, new staging, and as well as the final fixes and how they look. So super excited. Let's get to that.
Okay, you guys, here's one last look at the very original before. Here's what it looked like after I did the first refinish and the hardware you guys didn't totally love. Here's the damage that I had to touch up on this time around, and here is the after. I am loving this hardware so much more. I think that it does really thicken the piece. I am a little bummed that the hardware holes are not farther apart, but I'm not about to go fill in every single hardware hole and make them wider handles, so I'm hoping that this chunkier hardware and the more brass color really does the trick. Here's the bottom trim where I had to do the massive touch up, and I'm curious what you guys think. Close up, it is easier to tell, but farther away, I personally think that it is really, really unnoticeable, and I don't think anybody who's not looking for it specifically would be able to spot it, which is my goal. So what do you think? Is it still noticeable, or would you be proud of it if it was your work as well? In addition to the bottom, here's the top that I had to do all of those minor areas. They're not phenomenally perfect, but they are significantly better. Here's what it looked like before with all the damage that you guys thought could be preventing it from selling. So let me know what you also think of that. And here's where that test sample white paint was. I have relisted this piece. I took new photos. A lot of you also recommended doing more close-ups to really show the burlwood veneer. So I made sure to take that advice as well. And there are a significant amount of close-up photos in the listing, which I'm really happy about. I have a new description as well as a higher pricing to try and grab a different audience of people. I'm really happy with this piece, so let me know what your thoughts are, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around for this update. I hope it does justice.
Okay, that's a wrap for this massive dresser. Hopefully this is the last transformation for this piece. Now that it is relisted, refixed, hardware is changed, I'm so excited to update you guys if it sells, when it sells, hopefully fast. And thank you so incredibly much for sticking around for this video. The best way you can support my channel right now is by liking, commenting as many comments as you can think of, subscribing, and of course sharing my channel. That'll help my page get out there, and hopefully I'll get monetized soon. I'm only a couple hundred hours away, which seems like a lot, but I really appreciate you guys being here. We are so excited for baby number 2, and I cannot wait to see you guys for the next flip. Thank you again. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.